Hi, I'm Nick Markey of Beach Barbell Physical Therapy and Gym here in Wilmington. I want to thank you again for joining me today. Yesterday we talked about choices and sort of the broad overview of all the factors related to choices. Today I wanted to talk about sort of the beginning stages, and that would be just a readiness for change. I think this is relevant now because we're coming up on the new year, and that's where oftentimes people start to think about making changes to their life. You know, a big New Year's resolution would be, I want to get in shape, I want to lose weight, that kind of thing. And so most gyms get a big influx of people during this time. So that would signal that obviously that someone maybe has a readiness for change. And then the next step would be, well, what is the plan to actually make that change? So what you have to figure out is their current life uncomfortable enough and enough that they will overcome some barriers to change, right? So if somebody is comfortable in their current life, and let's say they're not eating very well per our standards today, and maybe they're not exercising really at all, if anything, but they're not uncomfortable, then chances are they're not going to change. So you might be able to help that person if you have a conversation with them and ask them about their life, because in reality they may not be as functional as they want to be. So for that person who thinks they're comfortable, you know, you might talk about things of like, well, are you able to walk around the store? Are you able to go up and down stairs? Are you able to do these activities, you know, just doing activities around your house, picking up pots and pans? You know, and they might tell you that actually those things sometimes get them a little winded or whatnot. And then that's where you can perhaps have a conversation and say, well, you know, if you ever consider it that, you know, maybe if you did a little bit of exercise and maybe change your diet a little bit, you know, those things might become easier. You know, dropping that seed. Now, they may not be ready to change at all at that point, but you might be able to have a conversation in a positive, tactful way where you're not just blaming them, but just giving them some information. You know, and that might move them a little bit towards being ready to change. And then you get the people that maybe are talking about changing, you know, maybe around the new year or whatever reason they're saying, well, I'm just out of shape and I don't like this anymore. You know, that might be a person that you want to catch, you know, and that might be someone you go and talk to and say, well, do you eat maybe 6 to 10 servings of fruit and veggies a day? They say, no, I don't think so. Okay, well, there's something we can work on. You know, do you do any sort of resistance training during the week, maybe 2 to 3 days a week? They might say, no, I don't do that. You say, okay. You know, that would be a way to help get them in a conversation again, and then help them develop a plan. You might say, hey, look, well, why don't you start with, you know, tracking your diet so you can see what you're actually doing, and then we can figure out ways of incorporating more of those healthy foods in. Same thing with the exercise. Well, let's look at your schedule. Let's see if there's a way you can just incorporate a little bit of exercise and activity more throughout your day. You know, start small kind of idea. But if they've expressed that readiness to change, that's where you need to come towards them a little bit and almost kind of drop breadcrumbs, so to speak, as a way to kind of pull them more towards that change. But you want them to go towards it. Because ultimately, if you're sort of pushing them, you know, you're berating them, likely either they're not going to want to change, at least with you, or they're going to not have a sustainable thing. So if you sort of lead them the way, lead them the clues and the breadcrumbs where they are gradually making that change themselves, and you're just there to support them and with encouragement and perhaps kind of that leading question, you know, kind of that, hey, are you doing any resistance training? You know, that's sort of a leading question. You're already implying that they maybe should be, you know, so they go, oh, well, really, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, well, you know, would you want to figure out ways to be able to do that, you know, in a gradual manner? And they might say yes. So then that's where you can help them develop that plan. So basically you lead them into that question, and then because they've already expressed the readiness to change, and then they gradually move towards it. But there should be some sort of support and or plan set up. You know, a lot of people, let's say with just exercise, end up not going in for the long haul. They do very short-term things and then they quit, you know, and go back to where they were. But if there's sort of a plan and structure and support to just basically carry them along the way, almost like a ratchet, every time they move forward, it's hard for them to move back. So they keep going. So that would be something like maybe they join group training at a gym or something, something that has a sort of a structure to it where you're sort of removing hurdles that would make it easier for them to quit. You're making the hurdles you're moving the hurdles out of the way so that they can kind of keep gradually moving forward. So that's basically the idea behind just sort of the readiness to change. And the people that are on the far end, or maybe they don't really seem ready to change, but maybe those are people you can just have a conversation with first, kind of plant that seed. And then the people that start to express that readiness to change, and then you can start asking them and kind of leading them towards that, where they are making the gradual decisions to change. So it's more their idea, and you're just there to support them and kind of draw them towards that goal that they'd ultimately want to. So again, I'm Nick Markey of Beach Barbell Physical Therapy and Gym here in Wilmington. I thank you again for spending some of your time with me today, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Bye.